felt some kind of redemption as the boos for him turned into boos for the Sixers as Brooklyn got the big win. Here's Durant in the performance in Philly.
Part of the frustration for Ben is he can't come out there and score to quiet the crowd. Were you out there trying to help him out and by doing that tonight?
Most definitely. I think all of us were. We look at Ben as our brother, so we knew that this was a hostile environment, and we knew that he didn't have an opportunity to play, so we wanted to come out there and have them focus on the court more so than just always focusing on him. So they focused on the court tonight, and it's hard for you to chant at Ben Simmons when you lose him by that much.
That line right there is everything. I need that energy. And if you want to be in the trenches with anybody in the NBA right now, loyalty, like Kendrick Lamar said, that goes to KD right now. I love that post-game press conference. All right, Perk and Monica back for this one. Woody, I want to start with you. Who has more to prove with their new team? Is it Carson Wentz? Or, bless you.
Sorry, y'all.
You're fine. You know what it is? Allergies are wild because of weather out here and the barometric pressure. It's a lot. Okay, I'm taking Zyrtec every night. It's a lot. It's a lot. I feel you.
Here we go.
Woody, is it Wentz or Simmons? Who has more pressure right now in these new situations?
I'm going to go with Carson Wentz here. I mean, listen to where Carson Wentz has gone since, 2017. The dude was on track to become an MVP. He got hurt against the Los Angeles Rams. And then really from that point forward, it's just been disaster for him. Injuries have derailed him in the past couple, the couple seasons after that. Then the Philadelphia Eagles move on from him, trade him to the Indianapolis Colts with his former offensive coordinator and Frank Wright, now the head coach in Indianapolis. Then after one season where basically all he had to do was win a game against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 18, and he came up flat against that game. To the point where the organization after one season said, you know what? This dude's just not it. He's not the guy. And trades him to the Washington Commanders. So we know that Carson Wentz physically is talented. He's big, he's strong, he got the arm talent, all of that. But for a guy in Frank Wright to give up after one season, this is now and never for Carson Wentz. This is the last time he'll have an opportunity as a surefire starter with an organization.
Big Perk?
Would. I thought you was going to come on here and
Talk to me, brother. Talk to me.
You, of all people, was going to be on the same page as me, but here I am standing alone today. Listen, Carson Wentz has been quiet,
anyway.
right? It's one. Look, I get it. I get it. Listen, it's one thing for the organization to give up on you, but it's another thing for you to give up on the organization. And I think this is why the pressure is on Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons committed to the Philadelphia 76ers. Ben Simmons, the one that signed it on the dotted line for almost $200 million. Ben Simmons, the one decided not to show up to training camp, not to show up to work, not to show up and put on another 76ers jersey until he forced himself out of Philly. So when you force yourself out of a situation, then the pressure is on you. So he has the most to prove because last but not least, the last time we saw Ben Simmons, I mean, my God, it was a horrible sight to see. It was a nightmare. So Ben Simmons now got what he wanted. He forced his way out. He held out. He lost some money, and now he's in a better situation, and you're with KD and Kyrie Irving, two future Hall of Famers. Now you have zero excuses. Zero.
Okay, so I think because of what you just said, Big Perk, I got to agree with Woody. His ability now to play alongside Kyrie and KD actually takes some pressure off to me. And I got to preface this statement by acknowledging my home team, the Washington football team.
That's your team.
I'm going to stick with the Washington football team and not the current name because I prefer a football team. Let me tell you how many quarterbacks have run through FedEx Field and run up on the turf monster, and the football team was their last stop before retirement, whether they desired to do that or not. And if not full-on retirement, a very checkered and challenging path through the rest of the NFL. Carson Wentz is a quarterback who folks will argue about their talent. Our colleagues did it yesterday. The Washington football team is in dire need of a quarterback. And so in terms of a situation that's supposed to be 1 + 1 = 2 and his need to perform as the guy, I think more pressure is absolutely on Carson Wentz because you don't get too many more looks after this. However, Ben Simmons, to me, even for some reason, if it wouldn't work out in Brooklyn, and I think it will, he's 25. I can still see somebody in the league saying, just get him to a small market, get him with some pieces around him, and it could pan out. I don't think Carson Wentz gets another shot after this.
No, I think that's fair. And Damian Woody, right, who's the biggest I'm not Damian Woody, sorry, Dan Orlovsky, Carson Wentz apologist of all time.
Yeah, watch that, Molly.
I caught myself right there.
Watch
Dan
that.
Orlovsky, even Dan said, this is do or die, make or break for Carson Wentz. This is absolutely his last shot as a starter in the NFL. What are you angry about now, Perk?
Your eyebrows and your nose.
Yeah.
But
Your
because
eyebrows
you
again
can't,
are telling me everything.
Yeah, why you skying, Perk?
Yeah.
I know because you can't have a temper tantrum and force your way out of a situation, and y'all sitting up here trying to justify why why Ben Simmons don't have the most to prove. Like, you can't force your way out of a situation. Carson Wentz didn't do that. He did. Now, was he productive on the field? Absolutely not. But he didn't go and say or come out publicly and say, I want out, I want to do this. No, the organization just didn't want him.
You're right.
Ben Simmons actually forced his way out. That's
But
why
Perk,
I feel like he has the most to
But
prove.
isn't that to a degree, Woody, and tell me if you agree, Woody, isn't that to a degree a demonstration of the power that Ben Simmons still has? That he felt like he would still have the cachet to be able to pull that off? Carson Wentz has not had a choice. The league has decided this is where you are now.
He would take us home.
Absolutely, but Perk, I sat in my bed and watched the same game you sat and watched last night with the Brooklyn Nets and the 76ers. What pressure is there on Ben Simmons right now? You got KD and Kyrie out there balling. Like, all they need him to do is basically go out there and play defense. Ain't nobody asking Ben Simmons to shoot the rock. They just want him just be a perimeter defender out there, and that's it, and ride out coattails.
Okay.
Carson Wentz got to go out there.
Okay, cool.
Carson Wentz got to go out there and ball at the quarterback position.
Talk to him, Woody. Talk to
okay,
him, Woody.
So what you're telling me? So Woody, you're telling me that it's okay for Ben Simmons to go from being a former All-Star, former All-NBA player to a role player, and that's okay. That's what he could go to. So you telling me that's acceptable?
Listen, me personally as a former athlete, it's not acceptable, but the reality is when you playing with KD and Kyrie, you like the third, fourth option on offense.
You know what I hate?
Cheers to that.
I hate this because this is so good, but we have to go to break. I'm sorry, guys. We got to go to break. Monica, Damian, this was a lot of fun. Woody, go over to your piano like you've been promising us. And go do it. Go to your piano, get your piano lessons going.
You come on.
What is happening?
That's why I'm coming on.
We're having multiple conversations. I thought we were going to bump. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to bump, though. Kendrick Perkins, I am going to give you one last shot to admit. Are we going to bump? What's happening here? Are we rolling the bump?
Just keep going.
Okay, there we go. I bumped for like 8 minutes. Anyway, Perk, I'm going to give you one last shot to admit that James